Hi everybody and welcome to this week's WARNO devblog, titled A Little Divisional Love. Eugen hope everyone are doing well, and they want to remind you that they're never idle, busy getting more operations ready in tip-top shape and working on the upcoming Army General campaigns. They always keep an eye out for the existing features though, and how they can improve them. They love things historical, especially when they are accurate, and that's why some of our divisions are getting a little bit of Eugen branded attention in making them even more realistic. In today's devblog, let's take a look at some changes with some new units coming to some of the newer divisions. The first subheading is the Battle for Berlin Revisited. We're never afraid to go back and improve our older work. It was brought to our attention with our never-ending gratitude to our passionate and knowledgeable community that the Berlin battle groups from the Udenau milestone needed a little bit of care. In our latest patch, courtesy of Salt, both NATO and Warsaw Pact already received some missing units transferred from existing divisions, but there is more. First up are NATO's Berlin Command. The biggest change to the division is the Federal Border Police of the Bundesgrenzschutz, or the BGS. You see, by 1989 these troops were demilitarized, but not in the eyes of the international treaties governing the presence of military forces in West Berlin, and since West Germany was banned from having such troops, the BGS did not serve in the enclave city. Rather, frontier security and border patrol were left to NATO military police or the regular West German Polizei units. As such, we will be removing the BGS as a deployable unit from the Berlin Command. They will, however, find another lease of life on the Territorial Commando Sud Division, since in the case of war, the light frontier troops would have been withdrawn from the border and used as rear security units instead. In the Berlin Command, the BGS will be replaced by the SEK, the Special Einsatzkommandos, a West German SWAT counterpart, or the civilian version of the more famous GSG-9, which, being part of the BGS, is considered military police, much like the GIGN in France. They will be used in a recon role with a more experienced 6-man team. The SEK will field the MP5 and the PGS-1, a police sniper rifle, which we replaced in other military squads by the G3A-3ZF. The SEK is specialized in tactical urban operations, including assault, which gives them the shock trait. They now have a little subheading which says some more changes. As a side note, the SEK trained with the US Green Berets Detachment A, with whom they had close ties. The latter unit was disbanded in 1987, likely to disrupt Soviet surveillance, and a similar unit, possibly the same, was recreated. This new outfit was rather unusually named the Physical Security Support Element Berlin, a supposed military police unit. Considering all of this, we renamed Detachment A to the PSSE-B. Wow, that's a mouthful. Another minor change related to some chromed firepower. Wait, chromed firepower? I'm not even sure what that means, Eugen. Can someone in the comments explain that one to me? Concerns the French AML-60 from the local West Berlin garrison. Okay, I don't quite understand that sentence. These older armoured cars were actually from the French military police, which didn't use the same models as the army. The West Berlin AML-60 featured two 7.62mm coaxial guns instead of a single 12.7mm machine gun. We also took the opportunity to reskin the existing AML-60 in a 3-tone army camouflage, while the new AML-60 police variant keeps the military police's green paint job with specific markings. Regarding the US Light Infantry Battalion in West Berlin, even though they will retain their M67 RCL recoilless rifles, they weren't only equipped with this weapon. That's why we created the separate Light Rifles LAW unit, dividing the current loadout of the RCL between the existing units and the new variant. The next subheading is the Berliner Grouperong. I think I'm pronouncing that somewhere near right. I and E have a funny way of saying it in German, and I always struggled with it, because in English it's the other way round. As you will have surely spotted by now, the Pact battle group has been renamed from the Unternehmen Zentrum to the new Berliner Grouperong. The reason for that is the East German NVA National Volksarmy had several divisions, including 2 special groups. The Besonderen Grouperong 1 in Berlin and the Besondere Grouperong 2 in Rügen. Simply said, one was the Berliner Grouperong and the other was the Rügen Grouperong. Again, I'm probably pronouncing Rügen wrong because it's technically a U with an umlaut, and I can't for the life of me remember my German lessons of what that was. Anyhow, sorry Germany. The former regroups all the forces already described in taking part in the Unternehmen Zentrum, aka the Warsaw Pact's assault on West Berlin during the opening days of our World War III scenario. Hence the Berliner Grouperong, which was the correct name for the division. The latter formation was, however, a much smaller brigade-sized battle group tasked with defending the Volksarmy strategic naval infrastructure on Rügen Island in the Baltic Sea. In the last patch, we already added quite a few missing units to the Berliner Grouperong, especially artillery, but it was one last unit that wasn't ready and we can now add it. The Grantstroupen, surrounding West Berlin, covered the flanks of the Unternehmen Zentrum, as well as mopping up any remaining NATO pockets. Just for clarity, they have written mobbing up, which is a mistake. It's mopping as in to mop the floor in English. These forces had a special unit for these missions, equipped with flamethrowers. One of the unit cards of Grenzer will be converted into Grenzer Flam. These will be the first recon troops fielding flamethrowers. The next subheading is the KDA Berserker. The KDA Berserker was released back in Messina. One of the Kampfgruppe der Arbeiter classes, the KDA's missions, was to screen the regrouping area of reservist mobilized divisions. This was represented by some Motsuchen in the division. However, that left the East German battle groups with no reserve troops, an oversight compared to other nations, and that's why we've replaced some of the division's Motsuchen with the new but lesser experienced Reservisten. Since one of East Germany's defining features in WARNO is to have the resolute trait in game thanks to the severe drilling and political conditioning, and we already have the KDA troops with the reservist trait, this new unit will be neither one nor the other, just plain old regular infantry with more soldiers but wielding older AK-47s. Another change is the removal of the BTR-50 transport options from the Motsuchen and the Reservisten, which will now only be able to choose between the BTR-60 and the BTR-152. The next subheading is some other new units. The fun doesn't end here, we also have added some other units to other divisions. These include the new Soviet Afghansky elite paratroopers to be found with the 35th Guards Air Assault Brigade, a nickname given to the Afghanistan war veterans, which still happened in our timeline. One additional card of these hardened soldiers has been added to your VDV battle group. They come equipped without any anti-tank weaponry but carry 2 light machine guns and a sniper rifle, as well as sporting the resolute trait. Another new unit are the Sicherung troops. These are the NVA counterpart to the Bundeswehr namesake and fill the same role as security troops patrolling the rear and guarding key infrastructure. These soldiers lack anti-tank weapons but feature the security trait and are transported in the SPW-60PB. One card of this unit is added to both the East German 4th MST and the 7th Panzer Division. And finally, there is a new NATO unit to be homed with the British 2nd Infantry Division. The HSF, or Home Service Force, are true reservists, pretty much like Dad's Army, while the British TAs, or Territorials, or the Terries in-game, are Army Reserves or former servicemen called to active duty. The HSF are closer to civilians with a few weeks training under their belt. Some were attached to the Territorial Brigade to act as security troops. In-game, they'll field Sterling SMGs, L1A1 SLRs, and receive a security as well as reservist trait. And they say see you in the battlefield. That is everything for this week. Thank you everyone for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon for some more WARNO.